Hey y'all, it's David Ducker coming back at you, and today we're going to be doing an RPG horror story. We're going to call this one I Sell My Ticket. This is about a character who, we had like a literal railroad, almost a literal railroad in the game, and he sold his ticket to it and refused to get on the plot train. And that's in this case, that's horrible. But I can explain the story. So we'll start off. Um, this was over 2 or maybe 3 sessions. So our first session had myself, Aaron Kenderson Scott, and perhaps I think James Duffy was there as well. Tutalik Mikatuk, the indomitable snowman. But our GM for the evening was Josh Powers Pullman, the MVP of the Kitchener RPG scene. As he proves time and time again. I mean, I've been saying that for 6 months, and he's still the best. So what can you do about it? What can you do except try to compete? But he was GMing for us, and we came in, and he told us right off the bat, there's going to be like 4 sessions. It's going to be a railroad. You're going to love it. And we said, that's awesome. Put us on your railroad and we'll love it. Right? So his expectations were very clear to us. He was like, this is a railroad, but it's going to be really tight and it's going to be awesome. And that's because we only had a month to do it. We had limited time, so we had to work within this time span. I can't remember if it was because of Christmas or because someone was moving, but we had limited time. Excuse me. So he says, make characters who are traveling on a ship. That's it. That's all we have to do. Why we're on the ship is up to us, and pretty much everything else about our character is up to us. So he gave us the guidance that we needed for the railroad. Railroads often don't need that much guidance because they're a railroad. The character's not super important on a railroad because you're going to get the same plot no matter who you are. But that's fine. He set it up front. So I want to say, a paladin of one of the love goddesses, Aphrodite, Freya, Calestria, Ishtar, something like that. So I made a paladin, but a lover, not a fighter. It might have been a cleric, it might have been a fighter, I can't remember. But his character was a paladin. A holy warrior. Anyway, I'm on the ship. He starts us off and he's describing the ship. We get a chance to role play. The role playing was awful because Aaron did not care to role play that day, and neither did James. And I think maybe Mike Chartrand was there, and he's incapable of good role playing. But so there was no real role playing, and a storm immediately whips up, and our ship capsizes and sinks. So Josh flashes forward, and it's like you wake up on a beach, and there's a wreckage of your ship all around you, and only the 4 of you survived. So is it contrived? Yes. Is it a railroad? Yes. So it's fine. You have to do these things when you have time constraints. You have to be a little contrived at times. And, and that kind of thing can legitimately happen. I'm sure it did in real life. I'm sure it could now. Watch Castaway. But we wake up on this strange beach. We don't know where we are. He's describing the flora and fauna, and it's like this bamboo forest, and there's like a panda bear, and we're coming through, and I think we were attacked by some bird people. So we had this combat encounter with bird people, and they all had like wakizashis and shurikens or some such, and maybe like a tetsubo. But we fought these bird people, and we escaped, and we finally start running into some actual people. And Josh is describing how they're how they're dressed, and what they look like physically. And it's pretty much already apparent, but now it's really apparent that we're in some kind of fantasy version of Japan or China, or probably just a sloppy combination of the two. And we start trying to talk to them, and they're talking back to us in in Japanese. So we don't speak that language. None of our characters have had any opportunity to. And so we're having this great role-playing scene, a great challenge to role-play without language. So body language and gestures and trying to use physical examples to communicate. It was really, really interesting. And we came through, we got to a town. He's describing all the Japanese-style architecture and so we got some role playing done in the town. We met a foreign trader who could speak our language, and had some really good role playing scenes. I really, really enjoyed this. We came through and we were traveling, and he's like, "I'll take you to the capital, and the great libraries there, and I'll have a map, and we can find where you're from, and we'll get you back there." So he's kind of montaging us through as we travel through this pseudo-Chinese landscape, and we're seeing all the different architecture and the bamboo forests and the rolling hills and the rice paddies, and it's really great montage, really great role-playing, wonderful descriptions. The whole first session was tremendously fun, and we came through. We finally got to the capital. And he described this floating island had arrived at the capital with a city built on top of it, in this strange architectural style that nobody recognized. And the island sent down like chariots drawn by Pegasi, and they said that they were having the divine lottery, and they were going to pull up certain people so that they could get the first class trip into heaven, and everybody entered this lottery, and lo and behold, the four of us won, and we were going up to heaven, or we won, and we had our tickets, and Aaron is like, "I sell my ticket," and everybody just looks at him. We're like, "Come on, Aaron, it's a railroad, and your character would never do this. Why are you doing this, Aaron? Why you got to be like that?" And he's like, "Huh, I sell my ticket. Huh, I don't go on the adventure." And we're like, "Fuck you, Aaron." But Josh did the right thing. Josh just said, out of character, you're either going on the fucking adventure, or you're not going on the adventure, and you can leave right now. And when we're all done this 4-session storyline, then you can come back and you'll have another chance to fuck up. Because we all love Aaron out of game, but in the game he can be hard to deal with at times. So we convinced Aaron to come with us. So that was the first session. Not a horror story. Excellent session, in fact. The horror begins in the second session. So the second session, we come back, and we've got a couple of new players joining us. We have Tyson, who we still game with from time to time, and we have a man I never saw game. He's like a Grizzly Adams looking guy. He had the big beard, and this big bulky guy. I'm a big bulky guy, but he was bear-like in countenance. But we start off, and Josh is narrating how we arrived in this divine city, and he's describing the architecture. It's all very like Greek, very classical Greek, and everybody's got togas, and there's angels all over the place, and Pegasi. And so we were going through, and he's describing how all the residents of the city are, look godlike, and everyone's been pulled up in these divine lotteries onto this flying island. and they all look like very heroic. They have, battle scars and magical weapons and armor and spell staves and all kinds of things. He's describing how everybody there is clearly, powerful warrior or wizard or priest. And we're like, oh, this is interesting. Okay, it's cool. And we go through and we run into Tyson and Grizzly Adams at the tavern in heaven. We run into them at the tavern, and somehow a fight breaks out. Like, my character is a paladin. Like I said, he's a paladin, and Tyson's character was a cleric of a different god. And I was talking to him, and I was talking about how our gods could work together, and he started calling me a heretic, and then he attacked me, and everybody just turns and looks at him and like, what are you doing? Like, why would you build a character that's so specific in their viewpoint that they would cause these problems? I mean, even in a railroad, that's pretty extreme. And then, another level, why would you attack a party member? What's someone who's supposed to become your party member? In a regular campaign, I could see this because it's a sandbox. But in a railroad, you kind of have to metagame. Metagaming is part and parcel of railroading. That's just what it is. That's there's nothing wrong with that in the right context. And this was the time to metagame, and he did not. And so we got in a fight, and Aaron ended up dying because my character had like some kind of destructive aura, and it hit Aaron and killed Aaron. And everyone else reconciled. Like, we actually did reconcile, but Aaron's character was dead. And my character, we reconciled, but my character was going to kill Tyson. I had this big grudge against him. We weren't going to work together as a party. And by this time, Josh was just so burned out that he never concluded the adventure. So it ended right there. So in that respect, this was a horror story because we got to see how good it could have been, and then it was all thrown to the ground. It was smacked down. They laid the smack down on Josh's game, and the reasons that this happened is people wouldn't go along with the railroad after they were specifically told that it was a railroad. They wouldn't form a party when it's a team sport, it's a team game. You're going to have to make a character who will get along with the rest of the party. And in a one-shot, you might not know what the rest of the party is, so play it safe, make someone who gets along with everyone, or metagame. This is one of the very, very few times that metagaming is okay, to make a railroad work, to make the time frame work. We got 4 sessions. You have to hit the beginning, the middle, the end within those 4 sessions. So if there's anything you can do to make sure that happens, including metagaming, do that, please, or else we'll have no ending, which is what we got. And we got no ending not because we ran out of time, but because of disruption in the group, which is, to me it's unacceptable and it's inexcusable. So it's a different kind of horror story. Like, it was bad when it was happening, but the long-term repercussions were so much worse because I was really into the story and I was looking forward to what was going to happen. And, Aaron tried to ruin it, and at least we talked to him because we knew him. But then Tyson, who we didn't know, we just met in that session, came in and, basically made the worst first impression. He attacked another party member, and one of the other party members got killed. So, if we'd known Tyson, we probably would have told him out of game, just metagame. It's only a railroad. Please help us tell the story in the time frame. But we didn't know him. We didn't end up doing that, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And Josh was so frustrated. So that's my RPG horror story. And the moral of the story is context is everything. If you're in a railroad, it's okay to metagame. If you're in a railroad, it's okay to follow that GM plot. And for GMs, it's okay to drag them kicking and screaming onto the plot. Because if they don't want to be there for a railroad, they should have said so in minute one. As soon as you said it was a railroad, they should have left. But but Aaron didn't, and then Tyson had other problems. Now, to be fair, Tyson has come a long way since then. Like I said, we still game with him. I gamed with him yesterday. So I'm not saying he's a problem player. I wouldn't say he's a problem. But in this instance, he was. Doesn't mean he is as a whole a problem player, but he had a problem, and it happened to be his first introduction to the group. So terrible timing there. But that's my RPG horror story for today. In the comments below, I'd love to hear when you had problems like this, when someone tried to impose their sandbox on a railroad, when someone refused to join the party or attacked the other party members too early. Like, there's nothing wrong with betraying the party or getting a fight with another party member, especially if you're not planning on killing them. If I get in fights with party members so I can lose and we can become tighter, and it works so well. But if you're just actually trying to kill someone in the party, you should build up to it. At least make it dramatic. Slowly betray the party and poison them over the course of like 10 sessions. Don't just pop them from day one. So it has no meaning. You have to build up to it. But anyway, if this resonates with you, please let me know in the comments. If there's a campaign that you wish could have been completed but wasn't because of problem players. Not that I'm saying Tyson is all the time, but in this one case he was. Let me know about that, because to me that's the worst. Probably my biggest pet peeve is loose threads, stories not completed. It drives me completely bonkers. But I'm going to sign out now. I hope everybody has a good day in YouTube land. Cheers.